this is the class. So, how's everyone feeling today?
Really
Stuffy.
Yeah.
Stuffy?
Headache.
Stiff headache? Where's your headache?
Right there.
Right there. Okay. Liver headache. Okay. Yes.
Sneezing.
Sneezing?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, okay. Sneezing, sniffling.
We're like the seven dwarfs.
I know, yes. Who's sleepy? Yeah.
Can we do both?
Yeah. Does this make me dog?
All right,
I
I'll
don't
be
know.
grumpy.
Yeah, here you go.
We have multiple personalities.
Yeah, he could be a few of you. I know 7 of the 7 dwarves today. Okay, so well today let's do some things. So headaches, just so you know, generally it's a good clue. Usually the sides or top of the head relate to kind of liver or gallbladder kind of clues. Front of the head here, this is like a spleen or digestion sort of headache. You know, like you don't eat for a while, and then you're just like, oh, it's right here.
Top of the head. headaches.
Top of the head is also like a liver, gallbladder, area. Basically, there's highways of nitric oxide that travel right along here.
So stiff neck.
The back too.
Back of the neck, this is immune system kicking up. Chinese medicine terminology, it's wind. So stiff neck, back and neck pain, that sort of stuff, like headache in the back. Congratulations, your body's fighting something off. Often can be accompanied by floating pains. And then that headache that's kind of inside the head, like not anywhere, but it's kind of inside, it's usually kidney related. So today, well, let's kick up the immune system. Here, kick all the wind out of you all. Let's start. Rub your hands together, right? Like a Boy Scout trying to start a fire. All right, so you want to get those hands a little bit warm here. Getting everything going. Thinking that those spots right here, this is really the turnaround point for a lot of highways, gases, and fluids in your body. So we can easily affect a lot of things. And once they're a bit warm, take it to the back of your neck, and I want you to rub up and down, warm it up. I want to make you a redneck. Most of you have heard all these jokes already. I'm still going to do them.
We'll give you a courtesy laugh at least.
Good, yes. Give me at least a snorting ha. That's all I want.
Good one.
Yeah, exactly. I just want the ha,
We're here for you.
That's right. Good. And notice today too, you have the tender points around that base of the skull, kind of right in here. That's a big spot. It's actually an acupuncture point we use a lot, especially for those headaches along the side of the head there. So you can always kind of rub that. One fun story on this one is years ago I had a friend who was he ran a circus school, and so while I was training to be a martial arts teacher, in the evenings I'd go over and also learn how to do acrobatic stuff like back handsprings and things just for fun. I remember one night I got back handsprings, where you fling back and do this sort of thing. And it was so great. I did like 100 of them, you had a spotter, and then you just get going. And I was so excited the next day I came back. And I said, okay, I'm going to do more. But there was no spotter. And I was like, well, I did like 1,000,000 of these last night. I felt like, of course I could still do it. So I flung my arms back, but not back far enough. And I just jumped straight onto my head. And it was bad. I was just like, like this. Literally like kinked up, like, oh, I can't move. I was lucky I didn't break my neck. I haven't kinked up, so the next day I went in and got some treatment, actually. And for treatment, weirdly enough, they put needles here and here. And we did cupping all around this back area. And then a very stern-faced elderly Chinese woman came in with 2 very strong thumbs and just massaged me here for about 40 minutes.
Wow,
In
40
this
minutes.
spot. And after that, I was like, oh, everything's back to normal. Okay, that's amazing, because I couldn't move my neck at all. The idea is we've got a little highway that runs up along here, going up through here, and around. So basically, we got traffic flowing down the highway. And then the cupping just kind of moves blood and keeps things from getting stuck, and then massaging the spot, getting everything moving. So, yeah, gives you an idea. Now let's take our hands to our face. I want you to rub your face like you're washing it. Pay particular attention to the side of your nose and the ridge of your brow. All right. underneath. Our paranasal sinuses will start opening up. In fact, this is actually a great one, especially with that stuffy nose
Yeah,
in the morning.
starting on stuff.
And then head over to your ears as well. Kind of roll and fold your ears. And massage the base of your ears. And then also that little hollow underneath your styloid process. Kind of massage this spot. And you can even kind of pull it down. It feels like it's tugging the inside of your ears down. Again, we're just draining. It's like a drainage spot for the body. Stimulating the lymph nodes around there. You also have your thyroid and parathyroid in this general area. If you prefer another term, thyroid's also known as your sweetbreads. You go to a restaurant, you can order these in some restaurants.
You can, Ike.
You can. Yeah. And this might already start kind of warming you up. Right? Let's get the next set also. Get everything soft. So today we're going to imagine our vision like a box. We've got 4 corners to it. I want you to gently go down and look over to one corner. And hold it there and just breathe. Don't think of it as a deep stretch. Again, this is not that mindset of I need to push through and push harder. This is, okay, I'm going to feel what's going on in my body today. I'm going to let my neck go down to where it's okay and not beyond that, and let everything melt open. Now let's look down at that other corner. Now look up to the upper corner of that box. You may feel a bit of stretching in with this. That's okay. Again, just don't try pushing beyond your abilities, especially right now. It's early in the morning. And let everything ease open. And over to that other upper corner. Now look down and gently go back and forth while looking down. Here you're exploring your range of motion. As you do so, we're getting blood flow going through, opening everything up. Look up, do the same thing, look back and forth. Yes. Looking up, go back and forth, and then settle right in the middle. Now, nice and easy, I want you to look up and down. You may feel this almost stretching your spine, so you feel it all the way down. Right? The whole neck, it's a tight space where a lot of different types of sort of conduits flow through. And it's connected all the way down your torso. Your neck is stiff, this affects quite a lot. Okay, now finally look down into one corner. I want you to go up and down, while also working your way across your field of vision, like we all agree with each other. Letting those cervical vertebrae gently nestle into place, helping reduce inflammation, bringing a lot of blood flow and softening muscles through this whole area here, where that lymphatic system drains back in to the subclavian veins, into the circulatory system. Very good. Now, let's get the lymph moving a little extra, okay? So, we've got this warmed up. We're going to start up top. And really, there's actually a specific spot. If you go halfway between the shoulder and the cervical vertebrae, there's that little hollow. You can kind of find it and rub in there if you like. Start there, breathing out as you go down the outside, breathing in as you go up the inside. And then smoothing, breathing out, smoothing down, breathing in as you come up the inside, and repeating. Just doing maybe 3 times on each side total. Maybe we'll do extra today. We'll do 4 times because we've got a few people with stuffy noses. All right, go at that pace of your breath here. So slow the movement down. Follow, that nice slow inhale and exhale. Now here the weather just got much colder over the last couple of days, right? I woke up yesterday and went, oh God. So, right, we have a whole new biome that's moving through ours right now, carrying everything with it. Things that like a colder atmosphere. Yeah, let's go to the other side after this smoothing. Now, depending on if you're in pain or not, you can go much more gently, or you can go harder if you want to move more blood and move more lymph. Keep going. And do one last time on this side. Okay, now let's go to the lower body. So starting up top, you got that kind of tender area right at the top of your ribs here. As you breathe out, you're going to go down the outsides of your legs, body. Exhaling. As you breathe in, come up the inside of your legs, around your thighs, all the way back up to that same spot. And breathing out, going down. Breathing in, coming up. Do one more. And that basic strategy for this is really bringing blood out to the surface. If something's trying to come in, let's say you're starting to get a pathogen attacking, your body may start having those floating pains or stiffness of the back of the neck or stuffy nose or throat, that sort of thing, then something's trying to get in. So push it out. In this case, we're opening the capillaries, we're getting lymph moving through several different ways. And your body will respond much easier. Now, let's do the next one for the lungs here, okay? So you can bend your legs a little bit if you like here. Just make sure you have a nice straight back. For this one, arms out, palms facing in. As you breathe in, the hands come close together. Turning over as you breathe out, those hands coming out. Take note of your shoulders here. As they creep up, or if they creep up, just let them melt down a little bit. Go nice and slow, using that abdominal breathing here, like your lungs are in your belly. Breathing in all the way down to the abdomen as the hands come in. Breathing out. As you exhale, it's like it's pushing your arms apart. Take note of your posture also. If you find you're slouching or leaning back, all right, just take a moment, kind of straighten up your spine, drop your shoulders. Do 2 more breaths here. In and out. The arms come down after that. I'll tell you, before we go on, let's actually just focus on the breath, the pace of the breathing. So, put your hands on your belly. This will help sometimes. Bend your knees slightly. Of course, you want before we get even into the breathing, you just want your body to be in that nice, relaxed state. All right, legs slightly bent, your hips tucked under neatly underneath your shoulders, and your whole body hanging like marionette puppets straight, like you have a string that you're hanging from. Now here, as you breathe in, you're not just breathing into the chest, you're expanding it all the way down to the abdomen, not forcing it, but just nice and easy, kind of relaxing and allowing it to be accentuated. As you breathe out, squeezing out gently from the stomach and coming back out. This is trying, you have to try without trying here, all right? So we're trying to do a breath, but again, just like the neck rolls and everything, just let your body ease into it here. Find that space between each breath and allow that to be there too. As you do so, you may have thoughts that are maybe going through your head. It's natural. You're thinking of things that have happened, things you have to do later today, what might come next, maybe even how you're feeling. Got a group of people here. It's common to have all kinds of things going on. Trying to stop the brain from thinking is kind of like trying to put a bunch of cats in a bag. It doesn't really work. Rather, I want you to just think, one thing I usually think of is, like my thoughts are like leaves blowing in the wind. Rather than trying to hold all those leaves down, I just take the wind away and they all settle. It settles with a nice slow rhythm of the breath. Gradually, as your diaphragm warms up and you get into a more relaxed state of being, you'll find your breath will be able to get a little bit longer. An extra heartbeat or so here or there. And that's that nice, slow, rhythmic pace that we're going to attach movements to for all these movements in Qigong. Now you can also start adjusting it even more for you. So here, if something acute is happening, let's say you've got the sniffles, you're having allergies, you're having an asthma attack, if you have trouble getting to sleep, if you find yourself sighing all the time, or if you feel generally tense, stuck, then I want you to sigh here, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. You may be on the other side of the coin, something very long-term, chronic, where you just don't have enough energy to even really get moving, which honestly, if you're kind of in that state, it's this early in the morning, you're probably sleeping. So, otherwise if you have to be scraped out of bed, you're sleeping all the time, that sort of thing, you're just a half-filled basketball, then you might try a yawning breath. Breathing in through the mouth and out through the nose. Okay, so take those breaths, and here, we're going to start affecting the kidneys a little more. We started off with the lungs and immune system and pores. Now, we're going to start moving blood down. So here first, feet shoulder width, and you want your feet straight forward. With your knees floating over your feet, tracking over them. Take note, you don't want to be resting on your insteps or the outsteps, but just nice and weight going down nice and even on your feet. Hips tucked under slightly. Again, that marionette puppet straight. Now, first one, as we breathe in, right, Arms float up to shoulder height as you breathe out, just gently floating down. As you go down, bending your knees slightly. As you breathe in, straightening those legs, rising up. And follow the rhythm of your breath here. Two more breaths, just like this. Good. As we're doing this one, we're starting to move blood down through the legs and back up through the kidneys, helping blood from pooling around this area like it may if you sit down for long periods of time, increasing blood pressure, filtration, and generally a lot of this is linked to increasing hydrogen sulfide levels, which is important. There's low levels of that, and it's linked to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, strokes, heart attacks, high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, and so on. It's a gas, so it's Qigong, right? We're playing with gases. She is. Next one is we're going to crank that tap open. So we have horse stance. So here, you want your legs out wider. This is probably the most physical of the ones we do. Ideally, having your feet forward, and you want your hips tucked neatly underneath. Right? Should be just nice and flat here. You don't want your butt sticking out at all. So sometimes even just taking your hands and adjusting, you can feel, okay, where is it? And here, take your hands, we're going to put them down like so, back nice and straight, and then keeping the hips forward, turn at the waist. And we're just going to hold there and breathe. Let's say 5 breaths, nice and slow into the abdomen. After 5 breaths, you can come back if you like to shake your legs out in the middle, that's okay. This is one that you can build into and eventually get lower and lower and, go a little farther. But the first step is getting those breaths there so you're not stressing yourself out in the process. It's an uncomfortable position, but you're training also your mind to say, hey, it's okay. I don't have to have an immediate reaction. I'm not damaging myself, it's actually helping. So here, you can go back down, hands down, a good posture, turn at the hips, and hold. Now if you find you're feeling this on the insides of your knees, that probably means you're turning your hips a bit much. Just keep the knees out, hips forward. As you relax your belly, you might find you have more space to breathe. Back to center. Ease your way up. the body's a bunch of dual opposing muscle groups. So here, as we engage these muscles in the front, it's helping dilate everything on the back. So we're really affecting a lot of the fascia that goes from the heels all the way up the backs of the legs into the lower back, which is good. We want that. Right? Next one. Okay, clever monkey washes the channels. Feet about shoulder width. Okay, hands starting on your abdomen. Now, as you breathe out, nice and slow, going down the fronts of your legs to about your knees. Tracing around the backs of your legs there, and breathing in as you come up. Hold, lean at the hips, hold that breath and rub that soft area, just like right at the base of the ribs. And then when you're ready to breathe out, go ahead and exhale down the backs of your legs, just doing everything in reverse. Breathing in and up front. And back here. If you need to pause there for a moment or two, that's okay. There's no rush here. Breathing out, going down. Breathing in, coming up. Holding and leaning, pressing those kidneys closer to the surface. And massage. And then exhaling down the backs when you're ready. Inhaling up the front. Let's do one more of these also. Now, many of these too, we're all doing these standing today, but if someone has a lot of pain or they can't stand, most of these can be adapted to sitting down. Now, we'll do one more kind of for the lower part of the body here. So feet a little wider. This one, press your palms together. We're going to be tracing this figure 8. So breathing in as you're coming up and around, and then breathing out, kind of swimming forward. In and up as you come around, and out and forward and down. Again, following that perfect rhythm of your breath. Something that if just the upper torso part gets really easy, then you can start going down a little lower and using more legs. But again, just listen to where your body's at. No rush. I'm trying to push things through. Do one more breath. Okay, so let's move into the next. We'll start moving our bodies, distributing, affecting the liver a little more. Okay, so start with the fingertips, relaxing all the way up to the wrists. And then letting that roll up to the elbows, and then from the fingertips to the wrists to the elbows to the shoulder. And that wave of force going through, right? Like you're trying to flip a vacuum cord over a chair across the room. You get that nice sort of whipping motion. As you do this, I want everyone to sigh also. In through the nose, out through the mouth, with every breath here. Loosening up. Alright, sending signals out to the body, saying, we're about to do exercise. We need blood out there. So your body sends nitric oxide out to dilate the blood vessels. And then oxygen-rich blood gets squeezed from the inside out, perfusing the tendons and the ligaments. Taking that liver and squeezing it out like a dirty sponge, filling it up with clean water. Take note of any, areas where it's really stiff. You might just have one arm going. Right? We're noticing areas of blockage, right? These blockages could be inflammation, scar tissue, gases stuck, blood pooling, all kinds of things. Now, relax the arms, go to the lower third of the body. Let's start shaking the legs like you've just seen a ghost. All right? Again, standard warning, the more you think about this, the more awkward it's going to get. So just get to that point where the muscles are shaking on the bones. Very good. You feel your hips loosening up. You may feel heat going through the lower back or tingling at the extremities. That's okay. It's natural. And now let this go up to the hips. Start rolling from the hips through the rest of the body. Keeping that breathing going. Feeling that wave of force traveling through you like a ripple of water. You can play with bending your knees a little more or changing the angle of your hips. And it might get suddenly easier as you kind of hit that good alignment. You just want to find that frequency where you're shaking your hips and your hands are moving because of that. And you may have like back pain that day, or you're doing it with a friend or loved one that does have spinal issues and they can't really twist, and they can always just do a sort of gentle like lifting up and down the heels, right? Like you're shaking a tree and all the dead leaves are falling out. Beautiful. Okay, let's move on to the next one here. Here, for the liver. And you can go down a little lower if you like. Or really low if you like. It's up to you. Again, listen to your body. Hands, arms out. Pressing the heels of the palms outwards. As you breathe in, relax the shoulders down, the elbows come in. And as you breathe out, pushing those hands back out. You're pushing apart two walls. Using that abdominal breathing. So as we inhale, that breath is what's pulling our arms in. As you exhale, gradually slowing down your breath, it's pushing your arms out. Feel a difference between extending all the way out, kind of arms opposite each other versus the arms forward a little bit. So if you have the ability, push your arms all the way out to the sides. If injury or pain is keeping you otherwise, that's okay. Take 2 more breaths. And let the arms float down. All right, they'll feel a little heavier. You'll have some nice big veins on your hands. Starting to pump blood back through from the extremities in. Okay, let's start affecting the heart. So for the next few movements, if you do have high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, make sure you're sighing either way. So here, starting, let's just take those hands and go up. And just use the abdominal breathing, still. Bend the knees a little bit, but the arms, you're just kind of almost pedaling this invisible bicycle in the air, almost like you're picking fruit, right? Old names for this, versions of this movement usually refer to, picking peaches. Let your shoulders melt down even as they start to creep up, because they will. Good. Let those arms relax down. All right, we started to get some blood flowing through them. Next, take those hands and put them up like you're pushing up the ceiling. If you like, you can look up and look between your hands. Again, keeping that abdominal breathing going. If you like to go lower in your legs and lean back, you can. Depends on where your body's at. Here, if you're looking up, you don't want your head to just hang there. Kind of lift the chin up, drop the shoulders even as the arms stay up. Smiling can help this movement too. Okay, let those arms drift down. Then close your eyes for a moment. All right, you'll feel the blood rushing down into your hands, of course. I want you to feel that pulse pounding, that heartbeat through each finger, through your hands. Feel it all the way up into your forearms. Just explore your body. See where you can feel that pounding of the blood. You may feel it down in your soles of your feet or your legs. Taking a moment to look inwards and feel what's going on inside your body. Sometimes for people with chronic pain or a lot of injuries, this can be a scary thought because you don't want to look in and feel the pain that might overwhelm you. But this is also a good practice of being a casual observer of what's happening. Like, hey, okay, pain might exist, but I'm not going to let it sweep me away. I'm also not going to completely ignore that it exists. Be kind of detached and aware of it, or any other sensations. All right, go ahead and open your eyes. Just think, our bodies put out constant clues as to what's happening inside the body. Just usually we don't realize that they're clues, all those little mystery pains or feelings, little flutterings of the eyes, the coating on your tongue. All of these are clues towards something. So the process of diagnosis, yourself or otherwise, it's just like noticing which clues are all connected. And then from there, understanding more of what's happening. This can also be great when you realize, hey, wait, that thing, that's a minor thing. Knowing that it might not be something serious or life-threatening, or also being able to identify when something is serious. Okay, one more here. Well, let's do maybe 2 more for the heart. This one here, feet shoulder width. As we breathe in, the hands come up. As you breathe out, they float down. Breathing in and up. and down. And then if you're able to, you can add the feet, breathing in and up, rising up. Of the balls of the feet, breathing out, floating down. Everything moving as one smooth machine. It's not something you have to go super high up. You can start small. We're just engaging that venous calf pump to help squeeze blood up from the lower part of the body, taking pressure off the heart. As we bring blood up through the chest and arms, going up, perfusing that heart with nitric oxide to soften and open up arteries. Yeah, taking your time. Let's do one more breath here. So combining all that together is difficult. The balance and the arms and everything together. You can always separate it and just practice the arms. And if balance is really bad, it's always okay to just have a chair or something in front of you. We're coming up as you breathe in, and coming down as you breathe out. It's still quite good, especially for circulation in the lower part of the body. Okay, one more here for this kind of part of the sequence. Put 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. Okay, here. As you breathe in, the palms go together and in the elbows. And you're going to open up as you breathe in, breathing out as you go down. Breathing in, palms and elbows, and then open. Feel that chest opening and closing. Breathing out as you descend down. When you add more, you can shift weight on the legs, going from back to forward. Just always remember breathing in as you come up, breathing out as you go down. One last breath on this side and switch feet. Switch, same thing on the other side. Palms, then elbows, breathing in and up. Breathing out as you go down. Two more breaths on this side here. Very good. Finally, let's start going for the spleen, digestive system, and so on. So link your hands together, press into your abdomen. You can press in enough to make yourself go oomph if you like. And then start massaging around in a circle. Go all the way up to your upper belly, and low enough down where if you had to pee and you pressed in there, you'd have to pee more. Keep that abdominal breathing going. So then we're massaging from the outside of the hands and from the inside with the diaphragm. You can move stagnant gases, bring blood flow down in there, shaking up that gut biome like a snow globe, sort of. As you do this, you can also relax your hips and allow them to turn, weight to shift on each leg. The most important, of course, is the hands and the breath, but afterwards you can get everything else moving. When you find that you need to burp, let's go right ahead. It's removing gases, remember. Take note of your posture too. If you find yourself slouching, just gently straighten up. Go ahead and switch directions. And you're going to get slightly different effects off each direction. Colon winds one way, but that's okay. Just either way, do both sides about equally. Feel your belly starting to warm up a lot. It's good. You bring blood flow in there. This is also going to start moving lymph from here. There's a very real gut-brain connection. Right? Lymph system goes basically from there, and goes even throughout your brain. The vagus nerve directly connects everything together. And much of what we've been doing has been stimulating that, so that your body stays in a nice calm state. Okay, I'm just going to finish up by bringing those hands right down. Just holding them just below the belly button and breathing just for a few seconds. Think of it like putting your toys away after you play with them. Imagine it nice and warm like a heat lamp. Okay, finished. I think that's good for today. How are we feeling?
Yep.
Good. We got a jump. All right. I like that. Now, any questions, comments, concerns, anything to that effect?
My headache's gone.
Your headache's gone.
Ooh,
Outstanding.
nice.
That's very good. How's our sniffles section?
From
Still
stuffy to,
sniffling and watering the eyes.
Sniffling and watering. Better for you, the stuffy nose. Yeah, sometimes too, when we start kicking out wind, basically we say, okay, let's wake everything up. The immune system kicks into gear. You see, actually, people will start, their nose will just start running. I see that a lot, especially in classes. I can see when people sort of have that going on. They'll start getting into the lung stuff, and they'll just start, you'll see them go for Kleenex and things. It's okay. The body, yeah, see, there's some Kleenex right there. Body's getting rid of some stuff, Same thing, there's all, on a lot of the people have had, a lot of liver issues, a lot of stress. They can't sleep at night. They got tendon issues, occipital headaches, all kinds of things like this. When we get to the liver stuff, we're shaking inside and pushing in and out. You tend to see all kinds of interesting effects there, including sometimes emotional effects, right? So it's always something to note. I try to bring this up every now and then because, hey, it's probably about once or twice a week between patients and classes, someone will start crying during a movement. Not necessarily an emotional way, just kind of like, oh, Why is my face leaking? You know, this is we're stimulating different parts of the body, basically helping release things. Same thing for kind of an irrational anger or frustration that might pop up on a certain movement every time. That's okay. The body's trying to work through. As we kick a lot of these systems into gear, some of them are waste disposal systems. Some of them, especially the longer, if you had more, you know, if you had a history of trauma or chronic illness, that stuff might be stuck in there, right? Jammed up. Same thing, you gotta flush the pipes, a bunch of ugly stuff comes out first. So don't be alarmed. Just say, okay, this is how it is. It's temporary, and as everything gets strengthened and opened up, it'll get better.
Taking out the garbage.
Taking out the garbage, that's a very good way to put it, right? I mean, really, we're working with three main systems in the body, too. In Chinese medicine, they refer to it as the sanjiao, like the three jiao, your upper, your middle, and your lower. And for visual diagnosis during class, I watch and see how you all move, because that also gives me clues. So the upper, you kind of got your heart and your lungs, the intake systems of the body. So when people are having lots of issues up there, or some obvious problems, sometimes this can, you know, also infer possibly some issues in those organs, because all those, you know, highways of gases and nutrients and so on are passing through those organs. If the organs are impacted, they'll start starving off the highways. And if the highways have been damaged by something, it'll start starving off the organs. You know, that middle jiao is the transformation, right? It's where we take the intake stuff and we make it usable for our body, digestion largely. So sometimes even just saying, okay, we got that, I got a papoose that won't go away for whatever reason. That's often a very easy sign of it, but it could also be where, you know, we're doing this one and people just can't turn their hips. You know, they're like this. I am turning my hips, you know. This can be indicating something, you know, everything's stuck. Everything's tight around this area. And of course the lower jiao, which on the outside you can kind of look at as the legs, like moving back and forth. It functionally, you know, involves a lot of the waste disposal organs of the body, the kidneys and the liver in particular. So when people have problems in those, they either look like, you know, on extreme ends, they either look like one, they're skipping leg day. You know, they just know, you know, like the standard New Mexico man sort of body type I talk about, you know, and you might have like a belly, red face, and skinny legs, right? It's common because everything's jammed up here and it's starving off the lower part. Or sometimes it can look like the opposite. Basically, as the waste disposal systems go down in the body, then it's like taking all the trash trucks off the streets. Like the city would just start filling up with trash, right? You know, in this case, it might be, you know, you might start getting edema, this sort of stuff, leg pains, gout, diabetes, all kind of fall within these basic ideas. I saw an elderly woman just the other day, a very elderly woman, not quite in hospice, but you know, she just her toes just started swelling up and getting red, and underneath bruises were starting to form. Basically, the body's not moving enough; all the blood's getting caught at the bottom of the body. So that's another example. So yeah, so usually if people are like they really can't, if I really don't want to bend their legs, that's a good indication too. So yes, you want to kick all that out. Alrighty, thank you very much for class. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.